Welcome to the Brutiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
Welcome to our Halloween special of the Brutiful Game. Or should I say, Bootiful Game.
I didn't realize we were theming this pod.
I mean, I guess it is the Halloween special.
Well, yeah, but we got, we got a little bit of time.
Not by the time we edit. It will not be that old.
Thank you, Count Roswell.
Count Roswell.
I am Count Emirates. Welcome to the.
I would have themed it with like Halloween headlines and stuff that I do. I didn't even realize it.
I was disappointed in you, my non-Bush son.
Somebody say something to me. I said my run-of-the-mill snarky stuff, and I could have added Halloween snarky stuff to it.
I'll see what I can throw in as we talk about a monster mash of soccer news. There we go. All right, ladies and jelly spoons. Tonight in the Brutiful Game, we're going to be talking about Chelsea and Man United. Stalemate in soccer chess match at the Bridge. Nottingham Forest, they yanked some points, which I think I called last pod from Liverpool. I was kidding, but I'm going to claim it.
Yeah, you were totally right.
How many times? Yeah.
And Newcastle slide into the top four with all that new money at the win over the dire Tottenham. And then we're going to check on some other results and the weekend action around the Premier League before we pass it over to the Sultan of Sausage, the voice of Wiener Schnitzel, the Count of the Crispy Bacon, Ron Keller, for our Beer World News.
Crispy.
My God.
Oh, my God.
And then we'll end our spooky soccer talk with a little La Liga's Roundup.
You better have a damn Halloween beer if you're doing this, this voice the entire pod.
Just disappointed that you don't. Which brings to a good point. We should do our beer. Let me get mine out while we are talking about this. My beer.
I guess I could just go run and get Halloween beer. I mean,
do we have to?
How far down?
Oh, do you have to? All right, you go ahead. Blake,
wait. I'll
keep changing the theme of this pod on the fly.
Yeah, we are. Keep talking Halloween. What's the kiddo going to be?
What's the kid? What she could
be for Halloween?
Oh. It's going to be a shocker.
Okay.
He is going to be a fox.
A Lester fox?
Maybe.
What?
Fox outfit, but it changes from time to time, and it turns into being Miles Morales from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. She has a full costume that she got the other day, and she likes to wear that Spider-Man outfit while we play Lego Spider-Man. She gets very torn, but the Seven Islands State Park that's just down from us, they are doing a spooky, spooky creatures, real creatures of the night trail, where there's like stuff about the different animals that's trick or treating each station in the park. So we're gonna try the fox there, and then we'll see what happens for actual Halloween night. But it's a fox, and now I'm wishing she's got that fox out. The costume, it's like ears and tail and paws and all this stuff. I should have totally gotten the Lester kit that would like to fit her. Maybe I'll have to get the Lester shirt.
Does the shirt fit? Did I get her a shirt last year?
Yeah. Oh, you got her an oversized shirt.
Yeah. Does it fit yet?
Yeah. It's perfect too, because it's just a little big.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh no.
So I lied.
No.
I forgot that we went to a party.
You took the beers?
Like right before, I guess like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God, we have so many Halloween beers. And I just brought them all to the party.
Or maybe when you weren't looking, I swooped in and took them.
Yeah,
just your damn Halloween beer.
Miraculous.
And we're so unprepared for the Halloween special.
Yeah, I can't believe it. We've always wanted to land on the Halloween. We never do very well. We are this time. So here is my beer. All Hallows Treat.
I like it.
Imperial Chocolate Peanut Butter Stout, 7.5 6% ABV, zombies crawling out of the ground. The tombstones say empty kegs, bad beer, unfilled glass, and there's a text box screaming grains, and then expired beer on the other side. Here for the booze. Some of the ghosts are saying.
Oh, that's funny. Here for the booze. That's good.
It says All Hallows treat, sweet and spooky like the perfect Halloween night. All Hallows treat rekindles your favorite childhood holiday memories. Aromas and flavors of dark chocolate, creamy peanut butter, and a soft vanilla finish swirl with a smooth body and medium mouthfeel. It is the perfect throwback that brings you to your first bite of a chocolate peanut butter cup. Chocolate peanut butter, yum.
I like it.
Nice.
So what are your Halloween beers? Oh, wait, you bags and didn't get any.
Nobody told me. I would have got great headlines.
I'm going to look at this. And headlines are through the pot.
What's happening is that Blake totally sold us out. He had a Halloween plan and didn't bother. Normally, we give each other a heads up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we should do this. And this time, Blake just sold us out.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm doing a vibrant, organic, zippy sour ale.
Is that Harry Carey?
Lemony floral notes from tart and juicy local Ascot berries and hibiscus.
It was like Harry Carey. Oh, hot dog. If I were a hot dog, would you eat me? I know I would.
It was instead of Halloween night. It was, hey, we have to hollow out the beer fridge at Ron's place because
that's a good thing.
Yes, because there's just so much random beer in there that there's the only like two of something is not anything that we want to have on the pod. So I'm doing a sour. So obviously I'm just doing this. Ron will not. He's very scared of it. So that's also to the theme of Halloween.
Totally frightened.
Yeah. But from a brewery, and you guessed it, Ontario, Canada. London Brewing, all organic brewery. Their kind of main tagline is, where the hell did it go? From plow to pint. So all of their beers are organic and local malt and craft. Hops and stuff. It says on the can, locally grown hops and artisan malts in every batch. Employee owned and operated democratically. Organically grown local ingredients. Better for people, better for the planet. Really slick site at londonbrewing.ca. And they have a very kind of similar artwork. You know, their logo, which is like a barrel kind of cut in twos, the silhouette of one. And it's a kettle sour. I haven't had a kettle sour in a while. So I'm looking forward to this one. London Brewing. And the name of it is Resolution Organic. Hibiscus and Haskap Kettle Sour.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for drinking that so I don't have to.
You're welcome.
Really, I wasn't going to drink it. It would have been pour out. I am going with a local Florida beer when I just threw my hand into the refrigerator and snagged one out. I'm drinking a beer from Sun Creek Brewery. It happens to be a Bavarian lager from my hometown. Deutschland Pearl, a lovely malt. This malt-forward Bavarian-style lager. I'm cracking myself up because I totally sound like
4 hours long.
Oh my god! This malt-forward Bavarian-style lager brewed with pearl hops, the perfect seasonal beer for all your fall festivities. Whoa! Prost. Oh, that's pretty brilliant.
Yep.
You're welcome.
That was amazing.
You're very welcome. Shall we crack these, gentlemen?
But wait,
Why not?
my Halloween doesn't stop there. I'm sending you a picture to show you my new beer glass that I'll be drinking this out of. My favorite spooky movie. It's a space movie, but it's a horror movie. Did you get the pictures?
We did.
Pretty cool.
I have no clue what that is.
Trying to figure out what it is.
Spaceball?
I don't know what this is.
I have no clue what the hell that is.
Oh, come on. You're totally losing your ability of having a nerd card.
I am? Oh, it's from Alien.
It's Art Deco-ish style art.
Oh, those are the eggs.
Yeah, it's the eggs, the ship background.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
not easy to figure out. And that does not look like Sigourney Weaver.
No,
either.
not at all.
Totally looks like Sigourney. I saw this from a mile away at the cool comic book store. And
Well, you're also the one only doing the Halloween special. You didn't tell us, so no wonder you're the only one that saw
I
it.
bought this 2 months ago. It's my first time using it.
This man bought this 2 months ago, knowing we were
doing
doing
a Halloween special.
a Halloween
Didn't even tell
special
us.
2 months ago and bothered not to tell us.
I was trying to find a good beer glass for a stout, then found this one. Oh, right.
God bless it. Here we go. Just hit the damn can.
Here we go. Let's do it.
Oh, nothing like getting a little sour juice on the old jersey.
Name of your sex tape.
Hey. Ooh, the smell. No kettle sour.
Oh, this one warmed up too much. It's so carbonated.
Oh,
Yeah,
ditto.
This looks like a champagne almost.
It's very a light framboise.
Ah, good one.
Why? The French vampire. Or vampire.
What the hell are we doing tonight?
I don't know. Being strange.
It's the time to get strange because it's spooky times. All right, gentlemen.
Shall we try it?
I
Why
think
not?
it'd be
All right.
didn't
Oh, look at that head.
Slanger.
Gumbo. Ooh.
That's oh man, that takes a long time to get the peanut butter rolling on the back end. A lot of Russian kind of imperial stout chocolatey on the front, then peanut butter on the back. Woo!
Party
Very-
in the back.
Very good.
This is a very, like they said, malt forward style Marzen. So it's a bit on the syrupy sweet side. Yeah, that's about it. Not too bad.
This is a one that I would usually not be drinking right now during the season, but a great summer beer. Very nice, light, sour. You know, it's the way that it's done. It's not adding too much of like that lactose or anything else to it. It's fantastic, very fruity. It's like you're drinking an alcoholic, like fruit punch almost. Very well done by them.
It's like a Frankenberry. Do I have some Frankenberry and chocolate in my cabinet? Yes, I do. Because as a kid, I was never allowed to have those. So every Halloween now, I go get one box of the Count Chocula and one of the Frankenberry. And one of the Boo Berry, let's be honest. But I'm not a big fan of that. The kiddo
Do you know
likes
what's
that.
making a comeback?
Don't call it a comeback.
I was going to say LL Cool J.
No, love LL though. No. Dunkaroos.
Oh, yeah. I've
Man.
seen Dunk.
What if you got those, put those in a bin and pass those out and to trick or
They wouldn't know what to do with it.
They'd be like, what the hell is this?
What is this? Man, this is good. I haven't had an Almagang beer in so long.
Oh, that's been a while since I've had one of those too.
Almagang is so
Consistent.
yes, consistent, and they have a very specific vibe. And this,
They're very adventurous.
yeah, this is quite tasty. It's like they're the Belgian version of Dogfish Head. They like to do weird stuff.
Love it.
All right, shall we do this?
Let's do it.
Let's jump into the footy. Over At Stamford Bridge, things get spooky when teams need 3 points but only get 1. Just as Arsenal, we know. Chelsea and Man United play out a stalemate in a soccer chess match at the Bridge. And taking defender off for a midfielder in the 36th minute, a chess match broke out on the soccer pitch as Graham Potter made a strategic counter move in the game to help plug the holes in his Chelsea midfield, which was being overrun and outpossessed up to that point. Second half brought on seven more subs. Gosh, we live in a crazy new world of soccer. 7 more subs to counteract each other before one of those subs, Scott McTominay, brought down another sub, Armando Broja. Broja. I thought it's not. Is it Broja? It's not Broja. I always thought it was
Broja.
Yeah. Oh, good. We're all wrong. Excellent. Jorginho stepped up to the 87th to make it 1-0 for Chelsea before a non-subbed midfielder, Casemiro, headed home a 94th minute match tying dagger to the Stamford Bridge faithful, full of strategy, penalties, and goal line technology. This match was not only a battle between 2 similar clubs on the pitch, but 2 managers trying to make their mark on new clubs. That's a pretty good write-up, Ferris. I don't even know what else to say.
Yeah, like, sum it up, eh? I'll start off by saying a 1-1 result in this game was one of those games you look at and you go, that's fair. Yeah. The way that it was done was one of the more strategic battles that I've seen, and a very brave move from Potter early on, which you all know Potter's brave, right? He had to fight Voldemort, so he has to be brave. Anyways, anytime you pull off somebody in the first half, and like kind of that early in the first half, normally it's for somebody playing god awful or bad. No, what he realized was they were getting overrun in the midfield because Chelsea had this back 5 wing back thing going and only 2 in the midfield. And Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno were just bossing that. A lot of possession, a lot of chances, a lot of ball movement, and we're just really just overrunning that midfield. So to make that brave move of taking off a wing back and Cucurella, I believe, and putting on Mateo, it balanced out the game the rest of that half. And then you saw the moves with a lot of those other subs in the second half being done. But there was really that first move that you went, wow, it's a brave call. And I think the player didn't come off mad or anything because he knew that a pretty big strategic change needed to happen before Chelsea could have gone into half 1-0 down or 2-0 down.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Potter, right? Like, even in Brighton, he is not afraid to make a sub when he realizes that the tactics he has chosen and the setup that he has chosen to play a particular opponent is not going well. I don't know many managers that fix it as fast as he does. And so, like you said, he's not afraid to make a sub in the first half or change 2 or 3 at halftime to, kind of right the ship.
Yeah.
Mean is he's a Gryffindor, but really he's a Ravenclaw.
Something like that.
But he's
I'm gonna keep this I'm gonna keep this Potter thing rolling.
I love it.
So
I love it. But yeah, the second half was wild. You had Fred coming in for Sancho. Kind of a really sad thing to see, but Varane, non-contact type injury. And he went off in tears. Reports thankfully are that it may not be as bad as initially thought, but on really good form for United. He's going to be severely missed. But I think, it was more of that. He was on good form, could possibly, knowing his body and whatever occurred, that he could miss the World Cup. And France is hurting right now. Yeah. No Conte, no Pogba. That they have a few others. So he went off in tears. And then you had Aubameyang go off for Pulisic. Broja come in for Sterling. And I'm not even Chukwuemeni, right? I think it's about right, for Loftus-Cheek. And then Scott McTominay came in for Eriksen, and then Alani came in for Rashford. And when that penalty occurred, my first thought was, it's a pen. It's that obvious. You're giving him a bear hug. Did I think that Broja went down easy, like he threw himself to the ground. Yes, because when you're getting a bear hug, you don't. The general direction is you don't just go straight to the ground. But the more after the game, the more in the moment. On the broadcast, Robbie and Tim were going back and forth on how contentious that is. And I was a bit surprised until I started to hear a lot of commentary afterwards from former players and stuff, and it all seemed mixed. And it seemed mixed because that type of thing in the box on set plays and on corners in particular happen all the time.
It does. However, he impeded the player's ability to make contact with the ball because McTominay was the one who headed that ball.
Correct. That's what I think was the big... Yes.
So the reason, in my opinion, the reason it is a valid penalty is, yes, this happens all the time, but you impeded the player from making a play on the ball and you got control of the ball.
Yeah,
so
no,
that becomes,
I'm not arguing at all.
In my opinion, that becomes a penalty, which, you go back to what the Arsenal match where a similar sort of thing happened, right? So in one instance, it was Gabriel Jesus,
surprise,
who doesn't have the ability to get to the ball, and they call that they don't call it a red card, or a penalty. So, but there was no impedance to the ball because the ball was going way over Jesus' head anyway.
Yeah, I think it came very split, and I wasn't very split on it. I thought it was a bonehead play by McTominay. Kind of, it's not like you're in the run of like 5 people in the box. Like you're kind of out on an island out there, and then coming in. And yeah, I agree because he played the ball and whatnot. I think he went down, easy, but I think it's a penny. The armed all wrapped around. And I think the argument from a lot of people, the consistency once again of the calls and VAR is that happens all the time. So start calling it more, and maybe it will deter lazy defending, because that's what it is. It's lazy defending to essentially bear hug somebody in the box. So I didn't have a problem with it being a pen, in all honesty. Like, it sucked. Like, the game was looking like a 0-0 draw, and for the 87th minute goal, I think that was harsh on what United played very, very well back-to-back games, because they had just beaten Tottenham 2-0 in the week. And then Casemiro's first goal.
With a nice flick-on header.
Oh, beautiful header.
It was really annoying. Again.
And you know what you can't argue? Goal line technology.
Yeah.
You can't. It is bingo bango. You see it on the watch. Ref looks, gives the goal.
Yeah, and it was
that
by
easy.
they measured it at 3 millimeters.
It was close.
Stupid close.
It was close, but it was over the line, and that's indisputable. So it's not like the match ended in any sort of controversy. And I think a 1-1 draw was.
I think it was a fair result
all
the way around.
I agree.
And this means that Ten Hag has beaten all the normal top 6 coaches except for Graham.
But hasn't lost any of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mighty gentlemanly of you chaps.
Well, it's a chess match. It's not like I had something up my anus and getting ding. Did you guys see that? Oh, there's some controversy right now in the chess world.
Oh.
You been seeing that? Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
Whole new podcast we could start.
Yeah. The dude had like a anal plug or something and would get like would get things sent to it, and a couple it's fucking weird.
How does that help him win a chess match?
If you type it
on our Anal Today Chess Tomorrow podcast,
Ron, the headline on the news is, did Hans Niemann cheat a chess sex toy? This coder is attempting to figure it out. I'm sorry, we're going to derail from something because the subtitle under that headline is,
here we go.
BUTT Fish, as in all one word. Buttfish is a program that hypothetically would let someone communicate to an AI chess program using a butt plug.
I don't make shit up.
Soccer podcast is over. This is what we're doing. We're talking about this the rest of forever. Like, yeah.
Well,
So,
what's even better is in 1 week that news broke, and these two douchemagoos from Michigan, I think, or Ohio, maybe, I don't know, it was one of those two states, were putting lead balls into fish and then putting them in the pond or the competition that they were doing. And these two guys had been accused of cheating several times before, and they finally caught them because the fish weighed heavier than they should be, and they were stuffing them with lead balls. So now they're on like grand theft charges because it's
the poker one that just happened.
That one too. Yeah, there's like all sorts of these really random sport butt plugs and lead things down fish's mouth. And what was the poker one again?
Sure, the poker one happened where they said they think someone cheated because like how they went, they should never have.
Oh, the hand and the percentages. Yeah.
No way they should have pushed forward with it. But so there's no way with all this going on, this doesn't loop around to some Premier League ref at some point. I'm just saying.
I'm still on the butt plug.
Okay.
Can you imagine that? You'd be like you're sitting there and you're like, do I move the pawn? Do I move the knight? And then all of a sudden, okay, I moved the knight, but that's in your ass, and you hear that? Do you feel that?
I think it's more that you're like, you put your hand on the knight, you move it forward, you get ready to let it go, and you, oh, nope, over here, nope, over here.
It is such a gross sound, Ferris.
All I'm doing is tapping the mic. Oh, shall we move on?
It's not
How about somebody else stealing some stuff?
All right.
Forrest stealing from Liverpool.
Dun-na. Oh, wrong sound. This sound. Rising from the grave, coming back from the dead. Are Nottingham Forest proof that you should fear the walking dead as they steal all 3 points from Liverpool? Coming off a big win against Manchester City last week to break their unbeaten run in the league, Liverpool get beat away on the road to the last place team in the league, Nottingham Forest, by a scoreline of 1-0, governor, with the epitome of Robin Hood and his merry men stealing from the sheriff. What in the name of Sherwood up in Liverpool, except this sheriff is called Sheriff Grimes? Because of Walking Dead?
Yeah.
Because they were, okay, just making sure we all know what's going on
there. It was just season after season. Like, come on, Jesus.
But yeah, it's the show that should have ended 3 seasons ago to remain interesting. So now...
How do you beat Manchester City and then lose to the last place team in the league?
Well, either Man City aren't as good as you think, or Liverpool aren't as bad as you think, or Nottingham isn't as bad as you think. I don't know. Take your pick there. So right now, what you have, all of a sudden, I mean, that's Arsenal's next match, and I went from winnable to nervous.
Yeah, but it's not it's you guys are at home, so you guys should be fine.
Yeah, very true. I know. I'm being facetious, but they're still last. But now last place are all tied with 9 points, and Leicester, who is another Walking Dead that just rebirthed from the grave, is finally out of the bottom 3. So now Nottingham's not sitting in that spot they were, where it was like, doesn't matter if you win a game, you're kind of hosed. This bottom, shall we say 5, I think remains interesting. I know Villa has also got 12 points just above, but I feel like they'll survive. They'll be all right.
Especially
they got a new manager.
The appointment of
We'll get to that.
Yep, back in the Premier League. So, wild. Not, actually, it was what I was expecting because I called it last week. Never mind.
Doesn't this kind of so far sum up the Liverpool season?
Oh, yeah.
Score 9 against Bournemouth and then lose or draw to Everton. Just so, I don't remember which club we said it about last week, but this is that like,
horribly inconsistent.
Yeah, the EKG chart at its like finest, just that really, really high and that really, really low. That it, you can't, you almost could put this one on Klopp. I don't know if you can blame certain injuries and stuff anymore because you beat Man City. I know he dropped a few in this game, and I get it. You have to kind of rotate the squad, especially with a lot of these midweek games happen, and then you got games on Saturday or Sunday, and then Champions League this week, and you're kind of shoving them all in. But the same point, like it should be known in this league, you can't take any team for granted. And Liverpool had their chances, and Jordan Henderson with his hat and all was on point. But that's not like you drew 0-0 or you drew 1-1. You lost 3 points, almost canceling out the 3 points that you gained last week against Manchester City.
Henderson with the hat does crack me up. Is that I didn't honestly know that was allowed to the first time I saw that, and I was confused by it. Like, does he have a head?
A few times for United.
Yeah,
he just looks like an old man going to a cricket match. It's
coaching a kids team, and he's like in goal for him. You know, like is the thing like that? That's what it looks like to me.
The interesting thing is, Nottingham Forest had 10 shots total. 7 of those were on target. Which that never happens for those guys, right? They only had 24% of the possession. Liverpool had 15 shots. Half of those were on target. 76% of the possession. It's just incredible that they could not string it together.
And with 25% of the possession, they had higher expected goals than Liverpool at 75%. They had a 1.85 opposed to the 1.66. They both had 4 big chances missed, and Nottingham actually had 1 more big chance created. Yeah. So it's like, despite the 145 passes to the 595 passes, not like the stats don't really, or they do, they don't, but it can show you what certain plays, certain chances, certain missed chances can lead to, and it just takes that one strike at goal or that one ball to bounce that way, and 1-0 up. Now you're going to put all 11 behind the ball and hope for the best, and they hope for the best, and they won.
You did say something that I know part of the narrative, though, is that, of course, Liverpool has been wildly inconsistent. However, on the other hand, you did say something where there are some the 1-1 draw with Chelsea and everything else with Man United and Chelsea. This weekend definitely had a bit of a feel of a few teams being a little gassed, a little, like you said, the
a lot
rotation.
Of games, yep.
Now, the problem is that doesn't excuse the past stuff with Liverpool, but it's feeling that way. You know, again, this season is going to be different than any other. All these compressed scheduling due to the World Cup happening in winter. You know, it's definitely shaking up the way some things are happening and being played. So I definitely think that there's probably something to be said for some of that with some of the matches that we saw. This being one of them. This is kind of crazy. But, you know, man, isn't there always something like that? A Norwich wins a match it never should have, or like a, you know.
Final
or
thoughts.
Norwich. Sorry, Lee, from the Unofficial Universal Podcast. He always corrects us on that. Hey, by the way, recorded an episode with him yesterday. He was so complimentary. Said he's really been enjoying listening to the show. It was
nice.
Awesome. So
nice,
thank
nice.
you.
Yeah, I was on with him a few years back too. So yeah, he's awesome. Awesome pod too. Especially if you're a fan of the Universal theme parks.
Yeah, but he was very complimentary, saying that we were on a good stride lately, and that he was really enjoying the show.
Exactly. Final thoughts on this before we move on. We have a certain betting market in the industry. It's called a double result. I'm going to kind of modify that a bit here. But if you were to put $10 on both of these happening, Nottingham go down, Liverpool make the top 4, would you put $10 on that?
Say that one more time. I apologize.
Both these things have to happen. It's a
okay.
Double result. Nottingham go down at the end of the season. Liverpool finish in the top 4. Would you put $10 on that?
No.
I don't know if I would either.
No. You know why?
The odds might be better than you think on it if you were putting the odds together, but I don't think I would either, because you could probably get the Nottingham one right, but the Liverpool one, you're like,
if you said Europe and top 6, maybe I would gamble it, but I feel the top 4. I don't think so.
That's the gamble of the double result. Yeah. You got to choose, so,
particularly because of the next team we have to talk about, which is Newcastle moving into the top 4 with a win over dire Tottenham. The Magpies are why I think I wouldn't do that.
Magpies.
The Magpies. I don't have a good spooky one for this one. Over the Magpies over the limp cocks. They're chickens. They're roosters. Can we say that? Are we allowed to say that on the radio?
Was that the guy that the other chess guy played?
Is that okay? Oh, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut here. Chances for both clubs litter the first 30 minutes of the match. But Newcastle strike first from a lovely far out chip goal from Callum Wilson. That guy's back on.
Yeah, man.
Despite it being a contentious goal, no foul was awarded to Tottenham on Hugo Lloris's. Then just 9 minutes later, man on fire at the moment, Miguel Almiron, who is really doing well, slotted home a lovely footwork goal to make it 2-0 at the half. Harry Kane's blonde head of hair would get one back in the 54th, but it would prove not enough as Tottenham lose 2-0 and their second loss.
2-1.
Oh, sorry, 2-1. Sorry, 2-1.
They lost 2-0 midweek to United.
That is
Manchester
correct.
United. They lost to both United this week.
And then to Newcastle.
Did you guys think that was a foul?
No.
I agree. I was the weird thing was I got done with my soccer game, got home, I turned on the game, was watching it, went to hop in the shower, so turned on Sirius XM and was listening to the game there, and they had called it. And we're like, oh, I think it's just coming back. And both of them were like, like 52% from 48%, I'd say that was a foul. So myself, I'm like, okay, it was probably a foul. And I got away with it and VAR didn't award it. And then I watched it again. And I was like, they look at like the goalie's way far out of the box. Why is that far out? Callum just kind of has every right to be in that space as Reese does. And they just come together. It's not even a foul on the pitch normally. Like if you were playing that in real time, it's not a foul normally. But I don't.
Yes, I think there's one slight alteration which would make it a foul.
Which was
as Callum Wilson is headed toward the ball, Lloris makes a touch and gets a touch on the ball. That touch, if it were a close touch, and Lloris was headed toward that ball when, after the first touch, when Callum Wilson smacks him, it is impeding the player, right? Because he had the ability to make a second touch on that ball. Lloris would have, if he was not impeded by Callum Wilson. However, I think it was not a penalty because Lloris's touch on that ball was so heavy for his first touch. Yeah. He never had a chance to get to that second touch. Fair. Because regardless of Callum Wilson's presence or not.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think it was a foul. I think it's a coming together of the players, and we shouldn't, just because he's a goalkeeper out in no man's land,
exactly,
doesn't mean that he should be protected there. Right. He's at that point, it's like when a quarterback passes the line of scrimmage and runs with the ball, he's a ball carrier.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I think this is kind of the equivalent.
That's actually a pretty good explanation, to be honest. And by all accounts, some of the way they're explaining, ex-refs have explained it is a very similar way that you just did.
There's a lot of people saying that it should have been a foul.
No, I
don't.
Yeah, I didn't see it that way at all either. And Newcastle away from home, right at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, get this win, and that's a big win for them. I think in course of 1 week, they drew with Man United last Sunday. They beat Everton midweek 1-0 and beat Tottenham. So the last 5 games, they're unbeaten. They've beaten Brentford 5-1. They've beaten Fulham 4-1. They're scoring goals. They're defending. They're not giving up a lot of goals. I think a lot has to do with Pope. I think Pope is a wonderful signing for them. And Newcastle have climbed all the way up to 4th.
Yep. On a, like you said, an unbeaten last 5 games are 4 wins and a draw. They have a positive 10 goal differential. So they are making some strides, which is interesting. And their next the next couple of matches here in the league, Aston Villa this coming Saturday, then Southampton. I think that'll be an interesting match. Newcastle play Chelsea on November 12th, and then they play Leicester. So
not bad. And that's the last one before the World Cup?
Sorry, Leicester is after the World Cup. Chelsea is the last one
before. So there's 4 more games before the World Cup. Gotcha. So
3, because there's 3. The EFL Cup
game. Gotcha.
Like the November 9th.
Yeah, because they really haven't played any of those, have they? They usually play that a lot.
There's going to be 1 million of them after the World Cup.
So sticking with the double result, would you put a tenner on both Newcastle and Tottenham to finish in the top 6?
No, because I'm a spiteful Arsenal fan.
I'd say yeah.
Both of them to finish in top 6?
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. I don't think I would quite yet. I'm not 100% sold on Newcastle. I love Eddie Howe.
Of making a roll ahead than Spurs do of getting consistent.
True, but Eddie Howe usually doesn't finish seasons overly strong, which Tottenham don't most times as well. So I think Tottenham end up in the top 6.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah, go ahead.
No offense, Newcastle United fans. Does it suck royally if Newcastle ends in the top 4? And by that, I mean, they literally get purchased by basically a state-owned club, a nation-state-owned club, and then they get in the top 4 the very next year. That would kind of also suck, right? I mean...
Well, I think there's a little bit of difference. The reason I think no, it doesn't suck is because...
Go on, you commie what you got to say.
It doesn't... It's not like they're out splashing the cash. Right? True. They're taking a very specific and measured approach to how they're doing things. So I think it's a smart strategy, and they've just put the pieces together and made the right adjustments here and there to get themselves to where they are up to this point in the season. Right now, whatever happens in the January transfer window may blow that completely out of the water. But at the moment, it's a very specific, methodical, and measured approach. And I think it's actually smart.
Can I put my bet on that they will go crazy at the January window?
Sure, if you want to. I don't think they will either. I think it would be kind of a bad thing because I think 2 things. You in the top 4, people start to charge you more for players that you want. Because now not only are you super rich, but you get that Champions League money.
It's not going
to matter to them, right? I understand that. But also, I don't think the plan is to be in the top 4. That would be massively ahead of schedule of what that calculated plan that they're having is, I feel like. And from what Howe has come out in the presses and said, in terms of how they want to build it and how he has to be the more level-headed one to kind of temper all of the expectations and we want these players and all of that. So it could. I just don't know if this is uncharted territory for a lot of them. And the puzzle pieces all aren't there yet. Like they got about 300 of a 500-piece puzzle put together that they're trying to build that. And I think it's just going to take another 2 or 3 transfer windows for them to get that. They still have a lot of the old guard there, right? They brought in Pope and Isaac and Botman and some of these others, but I think they're just not quite complete there to really solidify themselves in the top 4. Top 6, I could see them getting 6.
Yeah, but if you end in the top 4 and you didn't mean to, that's still a good thing.
Oh yeah.
There's no downside to finishing in the top 4.
No, but to Blake's point, I think it would. That would be my logic behind it a little bit.
I don't understand why it would suck. Maybe you don't finish in the top 4 the following year, but you finish in the top 6.
Well, because then
the top 10,
you don't have the squad depth to be doing Europe as much, I don't think yet. And
why do you think I'm saying that sucks? Because the way you just said it made me. Why do you think I said that would suck?
I don't know. I was sharing why I think it would.
That like literally like this crazy big money comes in and just poof, there they are. I mean, it's already happened. I mean,
well, yeah, but they still.
And then in 2007, then there's the guy that comes in with a big stake, and then 2008 there's the Abu Dhabi group, and then they went in the Premier League by 2011.
But
or in the FA.
I'm still confused how this is a bad thing for them.
Yeah, but
in the top four.
I mean, no, they bought and keep pieces so far.
Freaking sport. That's why it's a bad thing for the sport. That it's just like, here comes this nation state with all this money, and I know it's not officially, it's backed by so-and-so, but there's princes involved and yada, yada. And it's just like, boom, there we go.
But that's old news.
We just bought this.
So many other teams have already bought it. That's way old news.
I think there are teams that are unique, like Newcastle United and Manchester City. That is a different form of money.
That's a different form of money.
That is absolutely different. Even the oligarch. And look, Chelsea with the crazy money the oligarch had still doesn't equate to those situations.
I don't know. 19 titles in 20 years is still pretty good. They bought all of those. I don't really see the difference.
Well, Man City doesn't have a title for 44 years.
Yeah, that's...
And then they get their purchase.
It's different money. It's different money.
So
it's almost like unlimited funds opposed to just a shit ton of funds.
But football, the way it used to be when Man City was terrible, is long since dead. Like long since dead.
Yeah, but you make it sound like every team's owned by nation state, and they're not.
I'm not saying that. You said that it would suck to be in the top four as a Newcastle fan. No. I said no.
I did not say that. I said it sucks for the sport of football.
You just said that. But earlier you said, as a Newcastle fan, it would suck to be in the top
I'm sorry, Newcastle fans, for saying this, but would it suck to have them be in the top four? Because if somebody new comes in with insane amounts of money, boom, there you go. And now here we are this fast. I think that's what sucks. I mean, if you're a Newcastle fan, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But is it bad for the sport in general? Because then it's just, do we just have this race then where maybe this happens to one other team, and now you've got, well, don't ever worry about first, second place. We all fight for third and fourth because you can't compete with their money.
As it's going, barely no one can beat Man City the past couple of years anyway. So right now you have mostly a one-horse leg or one-horse race.
Exactly.
That's not good. Two-horse race.
Yeah, it's not good. That's what I mean. England will become Spain. That would suck.
You know who would wish they would be bought out by a sovereign state?
Who's that?
Everton Football Club.
Ooh.
And Crystal Palace. Probably wouldn't mind either.
I need a sound on my soundboard. You're absolutely right about that. DCL gets his first of the season.
I did not write that, by the way. I wrote his full name.
I know Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but DCL. He gets his first of the season and the matches. Everton and Crystal Palace, as Everton rout Crystal Palace, I should say, 3-0. That might have been one of the shockers of the week. I feel like that's a bigger deal almost than Liverpool screwing up and losing to Nottingham didn't seem as unbelievable as Everton winning 3-0 to Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But with Dominic Calvert-Lewin back, they got a formidable striker. Can he stay healthy? That's the big thing. He just hasn't been able to. So
no,
good win for them
though. Holland scores only a brace as Man City returned to 3-1 against Brighton. Oh, Brighton! Does that make you feel bad, Ron? Brighton could have beaten them. You got to go steal Potter.
Hey, I still say...
Now they're left with Neville Longbottom.
Luna Lovegood.
We don't even know, what's going on.
It's the Nargles, don't worry.
I love when you guys get nerdy, too. Moving along with the Premier League. We have Holland. Oh, I did that one already. I can't read. No Gerrard, no problem. As Aston Villa get their new manager bump. Well, I guess not their bump. They get their manager's gone bump as they beat Brentford 4-0 at Villa Park. As we said,
where was that performance from those players? But if that doesn't tell you something that maybe they weren't happy with the way Gerard went about business and the captain with that looked like that was a you Gerard. And I mean that Brentford haven't been bad this year. They've been good this year, and you trounced them 4-0. You actually played Danny Ings. He scores a brace. Like that looked like that was a big. You could even heard it from I think it was Leon Bailey and the post match. Just the way he was talking, you're like, ooh, they seem happier and more free. Weird. And then Andre Villas-Boas, or no, not Andre Villas-Boas. What's a chappie? Unai Emery.
Oh, Unai Emery. I didn't know where you were going.
It was one Spanish manager to the other. I just forgot his name.
Back in the Premier League, he'll be coaching Villa or managing Villa, and we'll see. Well, see what happens. Do they stay as free or not?
Yeah, and they got turned down by two. Then they get turned down by Tuchel and another manager.
Pochettino too.
Yep, Pochettino. No. Yep. Those are the two that turned him down. So
Tuchel, I mean, he's still on his farewell tour, going on vacations.
He still has a hell of a severance, so he'll be fine for a bit.
Getting his picture with old ladies in the local grocery mart. Moving on, Jesse Marsch may be the next to go as Leeds drop into the relegation zone with a 2-3 defeat at home to Fulham. Hey, all these Americans have become Leeds fans, and now they've left them for Wexham because of the documentary that's out, and that ruined Leeds now.
A lot of chances created in this game. Just Leeds doesn't have like a finisher. They don't have an Ings. They don't.
Dude, that was last week with Arsenal, right? Like they don't have an honest to God, upfront scorer, and that's.
And it seems like a lot of confusion in the final third. I think they have a little bit of Orlando City syndrome, where they're looking for the absolute perfect pass into the goal, and instead of they seem to take on players when they should pass. And they pass when they should take on players, right? And then they don't put anything in the net. They get closed down, and then they lose their chance.
And then on the other side of the ball, it's stupid late goals. It's giving up a goal off of a throw-in. Like it's not like the Rory Delap throw it in the box and a big Ryan Shawcross heads the ball in the back of the net. No, this is like your run-of-the-mill 5-foot throw-in, and what's his name just dribbles between the entire defense and just lays the ball off for a guy that hasn't played in about 70 years and Ilian. So it's kind of a mess right now. It's
Chelsea player.
Yeah, exactly. They create a lot. But you're right, Ron. They don't have once they get to that final third, it's like, oh, well, now what do we do?
And they were so exciting. I mean, when they first kicked off the season, Leeds looked very exciting. Has deflated rather quickly. Moving on. Now only 2 points ahead of Man City. Top of the table, Arsenal dropped points on the road to Southampton in a 1-1 draw. Southampton has been a problem the last 4 or 5 seasons. So I can't say I was actually super surprised at this draw.
Saka got booked for a dive.
I noticed.
Right.
It's okay to grab a
calling it for the past year.
It's okay to grab a guy by the throat and not get a call. Got anything with that, Ferris? Is that clear and violent danger? Is that violent aggression?
Doesn't have to be overturned by VAR, so not clear and obvious.
Yeah, when you grab somebody in the throat.
Stick with the call on the field. That's I
was like, wait, he grabbed him in the throat. That's not going to. Actually, to be honest, I thought they were going to suspend him like post match, Then they didn't. So I'm very confused at the message that the Premier League is making for violent conduct or what. I don't know.
So am I. This time you're actually on the other end of it.
Yeah. Well, hey, a lot of calls have gone our way. Some don't. We'll get a draw. It's cool. We're still top of the table. I'm fine with it.
2 points, though. You were, 5 points ahead of City after?
Wasn't it 4?
Oh, it might have been 4. Yeah. They dropped to Liverpool. Yeah. Yeah. Still a lot of games, though. A lot of games, but.
Oh, yeah.
Big old break in the middle of the season.
And a weird season with a big old break that Leicester will win again when it's
another
all said.
4-0 result, though.
I know Leicester City move out of relegation zone with an emphatic 4 win on the road at Molineux as they crushed the Wolves, setting them down to the bottom 3. Sent you guys my video of my 4-year-old saying her Foxes had won and beat the Wolves. She's so funny. She was so excited watching that.
You just get everybody on the score sheet on this one. Vardy got his first of the year. Madison scored. Barnes scored. Tielemans with a lovely crack. Lovely crack. Goal of the year contender right now.
You hear what you just said?
What?
Look at all the talent that's on that team.
Yeah.
They have no business being as bad.
Yeah, but what? We haven't talked about this actually. But who's no longer in goal for them this year?
Oh,
Schmeichel.
Schmeichel. Yeah,
that's a huge loss. How many times did he keep them in games through his saves? He was like the pope of that team for years and years. And we, like I said, we haven't talked about that. And I think that's a glaring miss on a back line that is spotty to begin with. But the amount of games that Schmeichel kept them in, you're now not seeing that. Now you're just relying on these 4 to put balls in the back of the net. If they have an off day, you're in trouble.
Is it late in the beers affect me? Isn't that kind of Everton's problem too? They lost their keeper, right?
No. They have Jordan.
No.
Jordan Pickford.
I don't know who I'm thinking.
JP for short.
Yeah. I think Southampton might have. No.
But Schmeichel being like, that's a, that's been a big thing, but a 4-0 win.
Wolves lost theirs. That's who it was.
There you go.
I think it was Wolves,
yeah, Martinez or whatever. They are not, they're not good. Neither is Leicester, but this was a dominating win. We'll see if it's enough to keep Leicester up. I'm not so sure yet. So it's at bottom 3 now: Leeds, Wolves, and then Nottingham.
Yep.
You feel like Southampton and Leicester could trade spots at any point in time?
Could. I think Southampton will find themselves okay, though.
I think Southampton and Villa will. I think it's Leicester that if they survive, it's just on the bubble. Unless things miraculously turn around in a big way. Lastly, on Monday, West Ham earned their 4th win on the year as they beat Bournemouth 2-0 at the London Stadium. Is it only 4 wins the year for West Ham?
Yeah, there's a lot of promise. I don't watch this game, so I don't really have a whole lot to comment, but it's a game they should have won, and they did win, so good for them.
12 matches.
Sorry, go ahead, Blake.
No, just 12 matches they've played. They don't have a game in hand. That just feels like, they had last year they were scary. I mean, not that you should take your eyes off of them this year when you play them, but the potency is gone from that club right now.
The crazy thing is they're in 10th with 4 wins.
6 losses and a -1, 14 points.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. And that's it for our Premier League. So now over to the Count of the Crispy Bacon. The Sultan of the Sausage with the beer news. It is time for Ron.
The barista of beer.
I feel like that was Doc from Back to the Future. Is that what?
8 miles per hour.
1.21 gigawatts. So instead of doing the beer news that I had all planned out.
Did I make you shift?
I made a fast shift so we could, make this a little more Halloween-like.
Okay.
And bring back an old thing that I've done on a previous Halloween.
Yes.
Blake knows where I'm headed with this.
I do.
Haunted soccer stadiums.
Yes, that's back. It's been on like a 3-year hiatus.
Well, we haven't recorded so close to Halloween before. 5. Let's talk about 5 haunted soccer stadiums in England. The first one, Highbury Stadium, Arsenal FC's former home. This home of Arsenal FC was haunted by Herbert Chapman, Arsenal's most successful pre-war manager. He is said to have been spotted on the grounds of this former stadium with a horse that died during the construction. I guess he's just wandering around with it. In addition to Chapman's presence, Highbury Stadium also featured the ashes of Arsenal's other fans, furthering the suspicion of supernatural presence at the site. The next one, the team we were just talking about, Southampton, St. Mary's Stadium. Southampton fans visiting St. Mary's Stadium usually find themselves anxiously alarmed by the presence of spirits moving objects within the venue. To combat this presence, Southampton FC hired an actual witch to come in and smudge the stadium to bring peace and tranquility to the fans who attend their matches.
Love it. A little bit of what's the incense that you want to burn?
Sage.
Sage, yeah, I'll sage it up. Sage it up at the St. Mary's.
Another fun one, the Stadium of Light. We haven't seen in the Premier League for
Sunderland, right?
Yeah, Sunderland AFC.
All right.
Years ago, staff members at the Stadium of Light spotted a dim shape in the stadium corridors. Shortly thereafter, Sunderland's then striker Stephen Elliott witnessed the same figure, causing a number of teammates to believe the venue was really haunted. The spirit haunting this venue is believed to be a stranded 18th century French sailor named Spotty, who used to guide ships to crash into the coastal rocks.
What's the name like Stadium of Light? Wouldn't that be like the stadium that has had the most UFO sightings or something? That seems like it would be that stadium.
Yeah, that should happen there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spotty is guiding in the UFOs.
Right to the coast, into the rock.
The next one, Majetski Stadium, Reading FC.
Reading, yeah.
Did you say jet ski stadium?
Majetski.
Oh, I heard jet ski, and I was very confused.
Nope, Majetski Stadium. This is a fun one. Near the home of the Reading FC lies the spirit of King Henry I, whose remains were discovered by archaeologists. Following these findings near the stadium, Reading FC has seen a significant fall from grace from the Premier League, leading some people to blame the King's found remains as the reason they are not in the Premier League.
They haven't been in the Premier League in a long time.
So put him back in the dirt and let Reading get back into the Premier League.
Oh, wow.
Just a thought. And the last one.
Wait. Blake?
Oh.
Thank you.
Stamford Bridge. Not all haunted sports venues have spooky ambiance. Stamford Bridge has its own spirit that is actually said to bring joy to witnesses. His name is Smiling Man, and he's well known to Chelsea fans to bring positive outcomes to the lives of anyone who experiences it. A woman who attended a Chelsea match with her husband saw Smiling Man actually won a new car from a raffle she entered at Stamford.
Is that why Roman Abramovich would always sit up there in the box with that very weird, awkward, smug smile?
He was hanging out with Spot.
So there you go. There's a little haunted stadiums from around English.
I love it. That was excellent. Excellent. Brought it back, baby. All right, Ferris, it's over to you for the La Liga's roundup. Do you have any information on Transylvania FC?
No, I don't.
It's still totally Doc Brown.
I know, it does sound very Dockish. I did change mine though. And Blake, this is a phrase that you will know from the old HHN days that I was told many years ago.
Amazing.
Boo and skidoo. Napoli sit atop of the Italian Serie A table on 29 points and 0. That's right, 0 losses so far in the league after 11 matches played. They are undefeated in league play as of right now. They're doing pretty darn well in the Champions League as well. The total team performance up to this point, Napoli have a plus 17 goal difference and have only drawn 2 games and have won the other 9. So they are off to a hell of a start in the Scudetto to win the Scudetto. AC Milan sit just 3 points behind them in second, while Lazio sneakily sit in third on 24 points, tied with Atalanta in fourth. I say sneakily for Lazio because they are unbeaten in their last 5 matches and have 2 of the hottest players in the Serie A right now. Ciro Immobile is second in the Golden Boot race with 6 goals, and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic has 7 assists so far on the season. He's having himself a wonderful year. A lot of Premier League clubs are looking that way. Kind of have been for a bit, but it's been more of a how much you're going to buy him for, and is he worth it at that? But for right now, he's really producing for Lazio. And then sitting 5 points behind Napoli, can Lazio in particular catch the league leaders to win the Scudetto? It's a Serie A that is shaping up to be quite interesting, and you might have somebody besides the Milans or Juventus win it this year, which would be quite interesting. Boo and Skidoo.
So before you go to the next one, so our listeners understand, especially if any of you listening like to do your little home hunt, like dress like a scarecrow on the front porch, scare people or whatever to get your candy. You got to remember the boo and skidoo. You got to boo and scare, and then skidoo, get out of the way. Because if you don't, that's how you get punched.
You're gonna get wet. I believe me. I haven't gotten punched, but I took a rather large women's handbag that had to be filled with bricks right to the head. Knocked my damn. I was wearing like a hood at the time. Knocked my damn hood off. Kind of dropped to one knee. I was like, what the hell did I just get hit with?
But that was at 7-Eleven.
That was off of OBT getting gas at 12:30 at night. So boo and skidoo. Well, what do you know? PSG are also unbeaten in the Uber Eats French League 1. They have plus 27 goal difference and sit on 32 points after 12 games played. Mbappe is a top eater on 10 goals. Messi is the top passer of meatballs with 9 assists. And Neymar is Eddie Murphy from Nutty Professor as he's gobbled up the top goals and assist spot with a combined 16. That's like that's the 3 that make the most on the team are producing. I mean, sure, it's France, and it's they're playing in Ligue 1, but hey, you're getting it.
I think they can keep it up.
Have they scored as many as Haaland has on his own? I'm not.
That's true. That's a fair point. It's for them. It's not the league, right? It's Champions League. Good win today. They won like 7-1. But it's can they advance and can they win it? It's not. It's just can they get to the finals? It's can they win it?
The only reason I say that is because all 3 of them do not play defense.
No.
Right.
No.
So they all basically stay above the half and let the rest of the team try and defend.
Yeah, but if they get any bit of a counter or chance at break, they're gone. and they can lethally put that ball in the back of the net.
I'd like to see them play Man City.
Yeah, it might happen. Lens, Lorient, Rennes, and Marseille are your 2nd through 5th in the table in that order. But let's be honest, it's more like sitting at the kids' table in the Uber Eats French League 1. Boo and skidoo. We are now down to the Eastern and Western Conference finalists in La MLS. On Thursday last week, the Eastern Conference regular season winners, Philadelphia Union, beat FC Cincinnati courtesy of a Leon Flatch goal in the 59th minute.
Great game.
Oh, yeah.
It was so fun to watch.
Yep. This one was even better, though, while the Supporter Shield and Western Conference regular season winners, LAFC, traded punches in an El Tráfico derby match for the ages as they beat their city rivals, LA Galaxy, 3-2 by way of a Dennis Bouanga double and a Chichu Arango 93rd minute goal to advance the black and gold to the Western Conference Finals. If you guys didn't watch that, it was a late game. So it was on 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. Finished shortly after 12:15 to 12:30. What a fun game, though. Some great strikes, some great goals from both sides. Good atmosphere, a lot of fun. Now, the Union and LAFC had to wait until Sunday to find out who they would play. And on Sunday, last year's MLS champs, NYCFC, once again went on the road to Montreal to beat CF Montreal 3-1 all the way up there in the Great White North. And finally, the state of Texas was determined and won by, all right, Austin FC in front of their sold-out crowd at Q2 Stadium.
Called it.
Yes, you did. Goals from, I'm going to butcher this, Jalil and Sebastian Jarusi within 3 minutes of each other in the first was enough for them to advance 2-1 on the night. You almost had chalk here. Like you almost had, in terms of when you're filling out your bracket, chalk means those that are the higher seed go through. Well, Philly won the East, they went through. LA won the West, they went through. Austin FC was second in the West, they went through. NYC FC was not. That would have been CF Montreal, but they beat them. So awesome couple of days with some great games. This Sunday, October, definitely not 10th, whatever the hell this Sunday is. 29th, maybe?
That sounds right.
Yep. You get 1 and 2 in the Western Conference. LAFC take on Austin FC at 3 p.m. Eastern time on ABC from LA. And the Philadelphia Union look to avoid another knockout at the feet of NYC FC, where they were knocked out last year. But mind you, if you guys remember, the Union got hit with the COVID bug. So they weren't quite healthy rolling into that game, but they will be playing in Philly on FS1 at 8 p.m. Eastern to try to correct that from last year and move on to the MLS championship.
It's funny that the two East Coast teams are playing later.
Yeah, right. I thought that, yeah. Because if they're playing at 3 p.m. here, they're playing at like noon in LA, right?
Yeah.
That's early.
Yeah. That's weird.
Odd. All right. Boo and skidoo. Over in the NWSL Liga, it took the Portland Thorns 93 minutes of 97 to win 2-1 against expansion team San Diego Wave FC in front of a 22,035-person crowd at Providence Park in Portland. Gentlemen, not only did that crowd size beat out 3 of those 4 quarterfinal games that I just mentioned in the MLS, but get this. At only about 150 some odd days since U.S. women's national team player Crystal Dunn had her baby, did she deliver a powerful outside of the box upper 90 volley in the 93rd minute in front of the Rose City Riveters to send the Portland Thorns to jubilation and into the next round. What a game.
That was a hell of a strike.
Beautiful kind of half volley, just got all of it and upper 90. Nobody stopping that one.
Only
Our buddy Matt Call, did you guys catch that? Our buddy Matt Call was at that match.
Was he really?
Yes, he was.
That's awesome. He saw a hell of a good one.
Yep, took his kiddo there. I think he was saying it was one of her first matches she'd gone.
That's a hell of a first match. That is awesome.
Yeah. Wasn't it awesome?
That is so cool. Great game. I watched all of that. Good atmosphere. Really early goal from a former Pride player, Taylor Korniak, Tate. And then Portland just fought back, and the crowd definitely played a part in that. Really fun match. Really fun match. And it was a doubleheader on CBS Sports Network, as in the going over to the other semifinal game. Kansas City Current continued to absolutely roll in the playoffs, as they knocked off the number 1 team going into the playoffs, OL Reign, led by Megan Rapinoe, Rose Lavelle, and Alana Cook. And when I mean it knocked them off, it almost, I don't want to say it seemed easy, but it seemed routine in this game for what Kansas City was. It made OL Reign look very average, which was interesting. And by the way, they didn't do that in Kansas. They did that in Seattle in front of a 21,491 crowd. And just a week before that in Houston in front of a 21,000 crowd as well. So they've gone on the road twice in front of those large crowds and won each match. Now they take on this Saturday night at 8 p.m. on CBS, big CBS, the Portland Thorns will take on Kansas City Current at Audi Field in the District of Columbia in Washington for the 2022 NWSL Championship. Need a little something from the board.
That was it. Wait, what? Maybe I've got something.
Match night? Do we have match night on here?
What do I got over here?
Holy cookie puss!
Got that one for you. Don't have match night. I have this one.
You just burp up good beer mixed with cookie puss beer.
Okay,
That burp
stop the production value.
will,
This is
will never get old.
I have this one.
I think I'm a special one.
yes. And Kansas City Current are thinking they're the special one because if they knock off Portland, that means they would have run through Houston, who was in fourth, OL Reign, who was in first, and Portland, who was in second. It'd be a hell of a feat. 8 p.m. this Saturday night on CBS. Two quick things. Fun stat that I pulled, and I did the math on this, so it could be wrong, but
Suspect.
yeah, exactly. But so far during these NWSL playoffs, from 4 games played, the average crowd in attendance has been about 22,700, which is 2,800 more people than the average crowd at the 10 MLS playoff games thus far. If you were to average out all of those 10 games, coming to 19,886. How cool of a freaking stat is that?
That is great.
That's awesome.
That is wicked awesome. And lastly, the NWSL announced their 2022 Best 11. Some surprises. For the most part, not particularly. You got some big names in here. We start off with the keeper from the San Diego Wave, Kaylin Sheridan. The defenders, Alana Cook from the Reign, Naomi Girma from San Diego, Sofia Huerta from the Reign, and Carson Pickett, formerly of Orlando Pride, from North Carolina Courage. All U.S. defenders. Midfielders, Sam Coffey from Portland, Labanta from Kansas City, who's been having a hell of a year, and she scored in that semifinal match. Alex Morgan from San Diego Wave, Dabinia from North Carolina, Mallory Pugh from Chicago, Sophia Smith from Portland. That'd be a hell of a team if you got all of them. If you got all of them together and played. They did have a best second team as well. We won't go through that, but if you go to nwslsoccer.com, you not only can find out that team, but a lot of good stuff on the semifinal games and the final taking place this Saturday. And that has been your La Liga's Roundup.
And now the spookiest thing is we come to the end of our show. Well, we must talk about our beer mentions. And I had the All Hallows treat from Alma Gang, an Imperial Chocolate Peanut Butter Stout, almost as good as blood.
I had the Sun Creek Brewery Deutschland Bavarian Lager.
I feel like there was an implied FU.
Oh, yeah. A lot of disdain in that one. Yep.
It's all about the timing.
What'd you drink?
I had a Resolution Organic hibiscus and Haskep Kettle Sour from London Brewing in Ontario, London, Ontario, in Canada.
You got a Zlatan quote ready for us there, Ferris? The spooky one.
You might have to give me a second.
Okay. Well, then I guess I've got to ask you a question. Where does a ghost go on vacation? Malibu. Why did the policeman ticket the ghost on Halloween? He didn't have a haunting license.
That's gonna good. That's gonna good.
Why do demons and ghouls hang out together? Because demons are a ghoul's best friend.
Okay. A fan on Twitter once said, "Is Zlatan human or should he be worshipped like a god?" Want to know what Zlatan tweets back?
God.
Yes. Zlatan is just a human, the same way a great white shark is just a fish.
Only he could put it that eloquently.
Yeah.
Yep. What is a ghost favorite play? Romeo and Juliet. Thank you for joining the Beautiful Games Haunting Special.
Get out! Get out, Man United! Get out!
Oh, wait. Where did that come from? We were haunted by a Man United defeat of the past. Ooh. The board must be haunted. Check us out at Twitter at The Beautiful Game. Leave a review on the podcast and we'll get something fun out to you. Ooh. Love the ghost. Cherish the game. The beautiful game. Cheers.